It's winter here in Oregon now, and we're lucky today there's sun, but normally this time of year, which has been just pouring down rain, but every once in a while you have to go outside and shoot a senior or something like that. So I'm going to actually take you through and show you the steps that I use, just using your speed lights to create something beautiful. So this is Kevin Focht with ppsop.com. So we're going to actually go through it now and show you. I did a senior just the other day like this, where I'm going to take two speed lights. I'm going to use my Radio Popper Juniors, and I'm going to use my speed lights on manual to create something really beautiful out of literally nothing. We have some bridges here by my studio, so we go underneath the bridges when it's raining, but then I need to light it up, otherwise it's just going to be this blah shot. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to use is my main light here. So I have my SB900 on this. I've got my Junior mounted to it. I'm going to use this in manual, just so that it's just like a studio strobe. So basically I'm just taking my studio outside, but I'm using speed lights to do it. You could probably do this on TTL, but why would you? It's like if you set up the person, they're not moving, so it's just like a studio shot. So what I'm going to use is I've got this bracket here. It's made by Strobies, and so is the beauty dish. It's made by Strobies also. I'm pretty sure Adorama carries them. So this bracket works really well, and the reason I like this style of bracket is that you can mount the flash outside of whatever your diffuser is, so you can actually get to the flash, where most of the time brackets, they have the flash mounted inside, and then you have to open the thing up to get to everything. So you can control your output right from here. So this is going to be my main light, and then I'm going to use an accent light. I've got an SB600 here with a Junior attached to it also, and this is going to be my background light that I'm going to have shooting back by them. So let's go ahead and get this set up, and we'll figure out our ratios from there. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is set up my main light. But what I want to do first is do an ambient exposure, so I kind of know where I'm going for. I always start out at like F8 at a like 200th of a second outside. I know that's going to make this pretty dark, even though it's bright out, and I'm at 200 ISO also. So I'm going to start out with that, and then I start out with my main light here and try and get a good exposure on her, and then I'll add my accent light. So let's go ahead and take a look. I've kind of set this up here. It's at I have my flash at quarter power right now. And it's completely manual, so all this is doing is just triggering the flash. So let's look at this at F8. Okay, it's a little dark here. Let's try it again. Okay, there we go. So now I've got an exposure, so I can either go up, bump this up, or bump it back. It's a little underexposed. Goes a helicopter over. It's a little underexposed, so instead of me going ahead and going up here and messing around, I'm just going to move this in just a little bit, because it's in manual, so I'm getting the same amount of power output the whole time. So I'm just going to move this in a little bit, and let's take another shot here. And there we go. Now that's perfect. I've got her face lit the way I want it, and her body, but her body's now, because I'm shooting at F8 at 200, the background's black. So now we're going to add the second light to create that kind of blowback look that's going to look really cool on this. So let's go ahead and get into that. Okay, so I'm going to take my background light. I didn't bring another stand with me because I hate grabbing extra stuff. The shot that we're going to be talking about that I did before, I actually just set it on the back of somebody's trunk of their car. So I found this nice little ledge here, and because this isn't line of sight, that's why I'm using radio poppers. If you were using the infrared on them, it would be line of sight, then you have a harder time. So I'm going to actually just set this here, just right in here, just kind of prop it in there, and that'll be perfect. Right like there. So I'm going to set it like that, and that's going to be my background light. So let's go ahead and get going. Okay, so I've got my light set up behind her. Okay, this is at quarter power, my main light. So I know just from experience, half power is going to be what I'm going to use on that. It'll be a nice amount of spill. You can play around with it, go full power, go even quarter power. So you need to just kind of play with it to see how this is going to work for you. So I've got that at half power, and it's spilling back at me. And the way I'm going to control the look of it is if I put it behind her, it's going to be a hair light. And if I let it spill, come around her, it's going to blast back in, and I'm going to get that cool look that I like. So let's go ahead and do the hair light first, right there, and beautiful. Now I've got a nice hair light. It's just putting a rim light around her, so I'm separating her from the background. Now let's go ahead and move out here and actually leave the light in, right there. and that's got the cool spill that I want. It's like blasting back at the camera. So depending on your lens, it's going to be more or less, but you can move that around, just play around with it. And then the final thing I like to do with this kind of stuff is I change my white balance. I'm on daylight right now. I'm going to actually change my white balance to tungsten, because it'll give it that kind of cool blue color. And then when I come in and post-process it, I'm going to take just a little bit of it out, and that's how I get the cool look on this. So let's go there. And you'll see on these raw images they're really blue, but then when we post-process them out, we're going to bring it back a little bit, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, so don't worry about shooting in the winter. If you've got horrible light out or it's raining, take somebody outside, put them underneath a bridge or something, just a covered area so it's not raining on you, and create beautiful like studio looks outside using your speedlights. And don't be afraid to use them in manual, because it's like you can control it up and down. You don't have to worry about TTL where it's changing every time you move. So just use them in manual. Like I said, I've got 2 flashes here, my main and then a background light. You can add extra ones if you want, but 2 flashes, you can do amazing things with just your little speedlights. So there you go. This is Kevin Focht, ppsop.com. Thanks.